listen out for. Thunder to the southeast. You can hear it going. That's the big grey cloud that we opened on. And then the second thing is the frog. Very loudly. So we'll head down there and we'll get a little bit of a kind of louder or a better impression of the sound that they're making. But above us, it is the most wonderful light, isn't it? It's called. Let's just ease our way down to Djuma Cam. We are going to be pretty careful about where we drive because there are storm clouds all over. But it is just unpleasant. You are on a live safari. In case you've stumbled across this website, it's not always quite this frenetic. Normally it's a little bit less frenetic when there's good weather. Hashtag Safari Live if you'd like to talk to us on Twitter, and we do want to hear from you, especially on a day like this when we probably won't be herring around through all the enormous sightings. And then questions at WildEarth.tv if you want to talk to us on the email. My name is James on Andrew's camera. No, that's actually wrong. On camera is Andrew, and in the final control we have Louise, and making her debut in the second directorial seat is Geraldine, aka Jerry. Now, we're just going to ease down here, and while we do that, we do obviously have cameras, or possibly not obviously, but there are cameras all over the world in various wildlife hotspots that WildEarth has, but on this reserve specifically, there's one here at Dam and one at the Arathusa Dam. And Susan, you mentioned that you saw a lion there, a young male. You mentioned that you saw a lion there, a young male lion at 10:52 this morning, possibly from the Salala Pride. And Kathleen, you also saw that lion, so well done. We know they had a fight yesterday evening in Buffelshoek, which is just to the north of us. The Salala Pride, we've been waiting for this to happen. Now, the Salala Pride is way out of their territory, and I'll tell you, I read a blog from Londolozi today, really good blog, about the lions. Let's get down to the waterhole here, and then I'll get into that. Pretty much the same conclusions we have, but let's just get down to the waterhole here, and then I'll get into that. You can also see quite nicely how this cloud is kind of coming up here. And every so often you will probably see the lens be covered by cloths and things like that. That's Andrew just cleaning off the moisture. Young Salala male at Arathusa, a long way from where they were. We think by the Nkuhuma Pride, in whose territory they have been basically taking chances for the last little while. I think they actually chased the Salalas into Arathusa, and I don't know here right now. So that's interesting. Now, what is interesting also is that down at Londolozi, there are two really fascinating things. Well, I'm going to talk very quietly now because this is not a place for me to be center stage. Up at the lodge over there seems to be a wedding happening. Wonderful. The most perfect blessing you could have for an African wedding is rain. How amazing for that couple. I've just seen the white meringue-like dress, so that's what I think is going on there. We're not going to hang around here for too long. Just quickly, at Londo's, they had a big pride called the Salala Pride. They were around and then they disappeared. And you know why they disappeared? And we guessed this together. Those are kind of marauding around here. But remember, the Salalas have got all of those young males, and the Matimbas won't tolerate them. Or we think they probably won't tolerate them. And that's why we think the Salalas have come all the way up here. They got here, didn't smell any lion, because the Nkuhuma Pride had... Squirrel and an elephant are very different things. There's an elephant over there, and there's a squirrel alarm calling just behind us. And I think let's leave this nuptial celebration and head off towards the animals. Best of luck to them. Cats go when it rains. They don't really go anywhere other than where they are. Initially what they'll do is try and hide where they are. Initially what they'll do is try and hide from the rain, and they'll do that by getting into thick bush. But after a big storm, of course, there's no real them or to be able to shelter them. We're just going to stop right here because I think those elephants are going to try and come and drink. So Ginny, they'll go into thick bush initially, but after a while they'll have to come out, and they don't like it. The lions in the rain get very miserable indeed. So let's just stop and have a quick look at these elephants. Look at these elephants. I was hearing a squirrel alarm calling. You know, I think it adds a different dynamic. I'm not sure that it makes it necessarily harder, but I think it changes the game slightly. So, the rain will wash away smell, will make animals difficult to smell for the predators, and likewise the predators, it'll make it difficult for the predators to pick up the smell. Likewise, it'll make it difficult for the predators to pick up the smell in the rain. And so while the predators use their hearing to hunt, so the prey uses their hearing to hear. It probably advantages the predators more so than it does the prey, but it definitely does change the game a bit. I'm going to just... in fact, there's some guinea fowl now going absolutely crazy around there. Let's go and have a look. I wonder if there isn't a predator there as we speak. So the guinea fowl are going... are going... well, I'm not going to try and imitate the alarm calling squirrel. Let's go around here. Oh, and Susie, you know, we actually had just the rainbow, as far as I remember my school days, is supposed to indicate the end of rain. I don't think it is here at the moment. I think that there's going to be a bit more rain. But I tell you, this to me, this atmosphere right now is the most perfect. I really enjoy it. It's kind of ominous a little bit with the glorious golden light. It's not too hot. There's the promise of more rain. And there's a wedding going on. So let's go across here. I wonder if there isn't maybe... We had female leopard tracks around here. Steph heard monkey's alarm calling earlier during his drive this morning. So maybe there's something exciting through here. So the squirrel was alarmed. And of course, like I say, tracking, of course, now, unless the water will have obliterated any tracks, the elephants are just meandering up the road. This kind of atmosphere. Apparently, while we're looking potentially for a cat, today is National Cat Day. I'm not really sure what that means, but I'm going to turn off here and let's have a listen. There. It's down in the drainage line there. I'm going to just back up a bit. It's not good eyesight. And so, while they might alarm call from there, they could be seeing something up here. They could, of course, just be seeing a snake or having an argument. Keep an eye through the bushes for the dappled coat of a leopard. At the very least, give you an idea of the sound that those guinea fowl are making. Carefully look at the floor, see if there are any cracks. There, you can hear the guinea fowl now. What on earth they're yelling at? They seem to be on the ground though, and it would be very unusual for them to be shouting at a leopard if they were on the ground. Let's just stop here and listen a bit further. Sorry about the jerk. Let me take my jacket off because it's now starting to cook. Of course, the other thing that this rain does is increase the humidity by about 700%. And so the sweating begins, which is not really appealing. So we'll just have a listen here and look around into the drainage line below the dam wall. It would be rather splendid to see a leopard wandering about here. Andrew, can you just point your camera at those two birds there? There are two Egyptian geese. You see it? There you can see the guinea fowl. Sorry about the aerial, but I can't really angle the car on the dam wall without creating it. So the guinea fowl diff I don't think is too panicked about a cat. Alright, I think we're probably going to head up towards where those elephants were, see if we can't get a better view of them. Just before we do that, Barbara from Potchefstroom has shared a lovely memory with us that when her father, who was a farmer, she noticed growing up on the farm that when the rain came, the cattle used to move away from the rain and until they hit a fence, of course, hopefully not literally, until they reached a fence, and you want to know if the animals do the same here. Barbara, I certainly haven't seen them do the same thing here, so now I don't think they necessarily do, but of course, what they do in East Africa, what precipitates that enormous wildebeest migration is the rain, and they follow the rain. They can see it coming, apparently they can sense it coming before we can, and that's what precipitates that enormous movement of animals in the Serengeti. That's the following the rain. Thank you, Barbara. We're going to reverse off down here and see if we can't go and find those elephants again. And while we're sitting on the dam wall here, of course, the one thing that I need to do every 2 weeks or so is check on the leopard orchid that I planted. And Djuma in Oklahoma, I have checked it recently, but it wasn't growing, and I was feeling despondent about that until a very kind viewer sent through some information on leopard orchids and the propagation, how they grow and what makes them grow, and it was absolutely fascinating. That's Andrew's finger, by the way, in case you're wondering. Andrew, enough of your finger. And what this information said was that it does take a long time for them apparently to grow, and they can sit dormant for a long time. But the most interesting thing was that they need a fungus apparently. Now there has to be a fungus of, I don't know what kind of fungus, but a certain kind of fungus that has to be in and around the tree hole where the orchid is. And what it does is it kind of absorbs some of that fungus and feeds on it in a sort of parasitic way, and that's what precipitates its eventual start or growth. So fascinating stuff there. So apparently I'm not to lose hope. That orchid may just take a bit of time before it actually grows. So we'll keep watching it, Djuma, and thank you for remembering. Right, let us move up. Watch behind us continuously. Good afternoon to you, Ria. A lovely, lovely question. If I came to North America, which animal would I most like to see? There are two. One is the grizzly bear, but I think top on my list would have to be a pack of wild wolves. I would really love to see a pack of wild wolves. I'm so enamored with African wild dogs, and to see a pack of wild wolves on the hunt would just be too wonderful for words. We're just going to stop and show you some more of these guineas. And the guinea fowl in the sun have got, you can see they're beautiful helmeted, they're called helmeted guinea fowl. They've got those beautiful blue heads. They're looking a little bit duller after they've got wet though. They're not quite so shiny. And maybe they're just calling because they're full of the joys of the first decent storm that we've had. Really pretty. So the elephants went walking off up this road just in front of us here, and so what we'll do is just continue up here and see if we can't see them. It's also the area into which one of the trackers thought that the Nkuhuma Pride had gone, so it's worth looking. I'm just not convinced that they did come. Half the others said no, they went into Arathusa, so I'm not sure. I think they had such a fight last night that it was very difficult to follow where the tracks went. It just astonishes me, but well done. The Nkuhuma Pride is sitting on, apparently sitting on Arathusa at the moment. Stop here just simply to allow you to rest. There is a Jacobin cuckoo on the top of that tree there. You see him? Yeah. It's an interesting cuckoo, that. I think one of possibly the most They look like cuckoos. They look sort of, they look quite nasty, I think. And they parasitize babblers, if I'm not mistaken. It's either a Jacobin or a Lavalliance. They look almost exactly the same. And it's a Lavalliance. You can see the stripes underneath it. And they parasitize babblers. And I once watched one in the wintertime when all the adults were supposed to be away. And sometimes the youngsters overwinter here in their first year. And there was this flock of babblers, and with it, I mean, a babbler's about that big. One climbed into my room today, actually came through the window and went out the door. But with it was a young striped cuckoo about that big. And it was calling like a babbler. It thought it was a babbler. The rest of the babblers thought it was a babbler, and it looked totally ridiculous. It moved with the whole flock for the whole of the winter, and then obviously probably started to breed and probably parasitized another babbler's nest, and then it would have flown off overseas in its second year. But astonishing to watch this flock of babblers with a much larger bird, and everybody. Right, on we go. Oh, it's a wonderful day. But there are now clouds closing in from all angles. So we're not going to go too far away, I'm afraid. I'd love to go to Arathusa to see the Nkuhuma Pride, but I'm afraid I think the danger of getting caught in a deluge would be far too great. What do you think, Andrew?
Well, behind us it looks bad.
A little bit bad. I think it looks like the apocalypse is coming behind us. We won't go too far. Now on Game Drive, of course, if you were a guest sitting on the back of a Land Rover, which essentially you are, I suppose, but if you were actually out here, we wouldn't worry about the rain too much. We'd stick a poncho over your head and off we'd drive. We'd probably get very wet, but that's okay, especially if it's your only. Some people save up all their lives to come to Africa, and it would just be very sad to sit around and not go on safari because of a bit of rain. So we absolutely would take you out and drive, and yes, you might get a little bit wet and cold, but it's such an adventure to come out in weather like this. It's just wonderful. The light is just something else. So the elephants did go up here. Light is just something else. So the elephants did go up here and trail them into the bush right now. They may sort of be winding up and down the road, but let's see what else we can see here. Maybe one or two other interesting things will pop out. You can see up ahead, of course, an enormous cloud. And just off there, I don't know if you can see that, you can see the sun shining through those clouds there. Stop there. Now, I don't know, maybe Jack can tell us and answer this question better than I can for Deborah. No, maybe Jack can tell us and answer this question better than I can for Deborah. The Salala Pride yesterday that we saw was only 4 males, or the 3 males and 1 female. We didn't know where the other females were. And Deborah, you want to know if they were involved in the fight last night? I don't know, Deborah, and I don't know where they are now. I know that they were probably around the Arathusa Lodge, but I don't know if they've been seen this afternoon. Let's just get a quick update from Ephraim on the radio. Ephraim, do you copy? Hello, Ev. Just to confirm, Nkuhuma Pride is on Arathusa, and so it would seem as a Salala Pride. Do you know? Short and sweet? No, we don't know where they are. They might be on Arathusa. Ooh. Dog track. Okay, copy. So confirm they went north. Okay, copy. They have gone, unfortunately, north into Buffelshoek. There is a crested francolin on the road. I think it's worth having a look at just about everything we can take at this stage, because we're not going to be able to drive too far from home. Our most common, very pretty. Is that rain, Andrew?
Yeah, I think
You think we're going to get hit? Okay, so everybody, we're going to have to turn around quite a speed. I think there's a big one coming. Yeah. Looking behind us is a fairly... Button down the hatches. Turn around here. Put on your raincoats, everyone. Button down the hatches. Prepare for a storm. Come with us home, everybody. If it gets too ridiculous, we will go to the tech loop. But bear with us for now. There it is. That's a big storm coming. We're not too far from home. I say not too far, but we might be just a little bit too far. Woo! That's a big cloud. Andrew, what do you think? You think it's going to hit us? Andrew, what do you think? You think it's going to hit us? Yes, it does depend how fast I drive. I might lose you though. Lots of water on the lens. Oh dear. Oh dear. Sorry about this, everyone. Nothing we can do. Obviously this equipment, like I say, cannot get wet. Otherwise there will be trouble. Whoops. Lost all four wheels there. Oh dear, again. Old Jigger hasn't been driven like this since she was a young girl. Come on, old lady, we've got to get home. I didn't want to go the other way past the wedding. Oh, yeah. It's quite difficult to keep her straight at the moment. But we're okay. Andrew, you still there? No expletives, please. Even if you fall off. Now watch us bump into something astonishingly exciting on our way home. There we go. There's another cuckoo calling there. My favourite sound of one of my favourite sounds of the summer. I keep to say I have a lot of favourites. And that's the red-chested cuckoo. That's the big one. Now it could, of course, just blow straight over the top of us, but it doesn't look like it's going to. So we'll go back to the garage, just quickly, and then maybe we can go out again. Wow. It's very beautiful. You might be able to see the odd drop falling in front of us. This is the precursor, I think. Now again, these things are so localized. They're so localized, and so I'm looking out coming over the top. Behind it is light. So, you know, they come over, then they stop, and then they come over again. We might be okay. I think this is definitely the right call to head for home, though. The sun is still shining on us, though. There you'll get an idea of the cloud coming over us now. Oh, here it comes. pretty. It's so pretty, everyone. But it's starting now. There's a rainbow. Forget the rainbow, Andrew. I'm not going to stop, obviously. Look at that. Just gorgeous. All right, we're very close to home now, so we don't have to go too fast. I think there's the wedding. Yes, the wedding is just nearby. What do you think? Shall we crash the wedding? We'll go back into the garage. It just seems crazy to go back inside when the sun is shining like this. Well, there's some monkeys very close by. We'll just go and have a look at them. Ooh, the poor lady is in her meringue. Just got married. Not me. Where the monkeys gone, Andrew? Well, we can do that. We can definitely do the rainbow for you, everybody. I'm sorry we can't go any further away than this. I'm just a little bit nervous of the rain. It is drizzling a little bit on us. As you can see it. Can you pick it up, Andrew? Oh, you can. Look at that. So that's the final control. That's Isaac in front of the final control. Hello, Isaac. He's heading back home.
Tish.
Is it Tish?
Yeah.
It's teacher. We show you all sorts here. It's now starting to rain a bit harder. On the note of that beautiful rainbow, we're going to send you to the tech loop. And if it does get better, I promise you we will head out. It's just too marvellous to not be out if we can. So sorry about that. We will hopefully see you a bit later, if not tomorrow at half.
Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back on the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us. Has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back in the vehicle with us. Hello everyone. being out in the bush and get you back on the vehicle with us. Hello everyone, being out in the bush and being out there live, back in the vehicle with us.